Hello and welcome. My name is Brian Caplen. I'm editor of The Banker. I'm with Ana Patricia Botín, the chairperson of Santander. Now, Ana Patricia, since you became chairperson 3 years ago, what people say is you've made a big impact on the culture of the bank. So what was it that needed to change about Santander?
You need to change when things are going well, so from a position of strength. And Santander was in a very good place, but I think to succeed 10 years, 15 years down the road, we needed to change and really to make much more explicit what was really at the root of Santander's success for 160 years.
Okay, and you've come up with this simple personal fare, which we've got written here. So tell us what that means exactly.
It means that when you don't have a paper or a guide that is written in terms of how to do things, how to develop a product, how to talk to a customer, how to treat a colleague, those are the three words that you need to go back to. So we want to do things in a way that is simple and personal and fair for our teams, our customers, our shareholders, and our communities. And that is the one thing you need to think about every day, all the time, as you go about your day-to-day job.
All right, and something like simple, it's easy to say it, isn't it? But it's actually quite difficult to do it. Yes. So, I mean, I think one of your principles is, everything must be clear and understandable. But how often do you have to go back to people and say, well, that's not as clear as you thought it was?
It's all the time. It's, making things simple is the hardest thing there is, right? A lot of banks want to be simple. I mean, I think the one thing about Santander is simple and personal and fair. Mm-hmm. So that is the hard thing. Simple is easy if you only think about simple. If you want it to be personal, i.e. personalized for you, for each person in today's world, that's what people ask, and fair for everybody, that is pretty hard. Yeah. Okay.
Now, what I want to explore the relationship between costs and customer service, because I don't think people always understand it. But Santander has always been a bank that's been, going for a tight cost-income ratio. You said it was 46%. I don't know whether it has to get even tighter. But how does that work for the customer, or is it just about profits?
The only way we're going to deliver fantastic service and fantastic products is if we're very efficient ourselves. But I also care about being efficient in the right way. That is the big change from before. We were always very efficient, but we didn't always do things the right way, so which goes into the culture, right? So efficiency is crucial, but it's not enough. And that is the big change, I'd say, from where we are today.
So when you say you didn't do it in the right way, I mean...
Well, I care as much how you do things as much as what you do and getting results.
So are we saying sort of cutting costs, you don't just cut costs by just sort of ripping them up, but actually looking at the impact that they're going to have?
Trying to do things in a way that's simple, personal, and fair for the customer means you cannot just cut costs. You have to cut costs in the right way. Before we used to cut costs, and it's obvious, but it was not done like this way. I mean, these were not the priorities as we cut costs. It was something very different. And that is the big change in terms of customer service, in terms of customer experience, in terms of how we treat our people. Because at the end, it's about all of those things.
And is 46%, is that where you're going to stay on the cost-income basis, or are you still trying to get it tighter than that?
We said 3 years ago it's going to be broadly stable. We're investing a lot for the future, so it's not, the numbers don't tell the whole story, right? We're investing a huge amount. We're also saving in other areas. And so, we'll give a new 3-year plan next year. But I think what's important, we've delivered on every single one of our commitments in our 3-year plan, with the adjustment in the return last year because of the UK, but we're still delivering very, very best-in-class return on tangible equity.
Okay, now on the retail customer side, the 123 account has been a big success, hasn't it? Especially in the UK. So tell us what it means and how you're rolling it out in other places.
123 is at the heart of the strategy of Santander. It's about loyalty. It's about you banking with Santander and Santander being your bank, your main bank. If I ask you, Brian, who is your bank? You answer Santander. Yeah. We all have I only have a Santander account, of course, but people have more than one account. But if you ask the question, who is your bank? That we want it to be Santander. It's as simple as that.
And at the moment, I think you've got about 16 million people who will say that. Is that right? Out of about 130?
Yes. So the goal is to grow about 1 million a year, to go to 17 million by the end of next year. We're about 16.3 as of June. So we're making very good progress. And for our shareholders, these are 3 times more profitable customers because they just do more business with us.
And obviously the impact they would have on the balance sheet is to grow the fee income.
There's a direct relationship, yes. We went from 4% to 8%. We're now at 11% growth in fee income. Not because we have higher fees, but because we have more customers. This is very important. So.
And what would you like to see the fee income as a percentage of total profits? I mean, what would be the goal on that?
There's not a goal. We don't want a financial goal. We want more customers. Happier customers are going to do more business. As a result, the fees will grow. And that's the way we think about it today.
Okay. So that's the customer. Now let's talk about internal codes of conduct, because it's another area where you've had a big push, haven't you? And you've introduced these 8 behaviours that you expect people to conform to. So what was the thinking behind that?
Well, the thinking is quite simple. What does it mean to be simple and personal and fair in terms of behaviours? How do you behave? And so those are the 8 behaviours. Is if we behave in this way, we will be a bank that is simple and personal and fair for all stakeholders. So it's, embrace change, speak up, support people.
Now, the speak up's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because traditionally, people in banks haven't spoken up. And sometimes it's a bit of a cultural thing, actually.
It's probably, there's many that are very important. Active collaboration or actively collaborate is another one. But speaking up is, if people don't speak up, we're never going to get better. And that is the key, is that we need to improve every day and faster. I think we're in a very fast-moving world, and if we don't hear from our people, if our people are not open to ideas from outside, it's very hard. So speaking up is hugely important, but the others are too. I mean, active collaboration is another one.
All right. So how do you measure whether you're succeeding with the 8 corporate behaviours?
Well, we're measuring everything. So we are. One of the key things is that my incentive payment and bonus and all my team is going to be based on behaviors more than on results. By the way, don't get me wrong, we want results. Yeah. It's a precondition. So people that don't deliver will not be here. But we want results in the right way. So we also want people that have the right behaviors, because we believe that is the way to deliver for our customers and shareholders today and in the medium term.
Yeah, so presumably that sometimes results in employees saying, well, I can't produce that result in the way that would be the right way, and then you have to get the trade-off right between those 2 things.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes the people that do a great job, but not in the right way, and so we need to ask them to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's finally finish talking about sort of the future of banking. I mean, do you see this as sort of putting Santander on the way to a very different kind of banking from what we saw, not just Santander, but all the banks, obviously suffered reputationally through the crisis?
I think we offer trust. We offer things that are quite unique to banks, and we need to keep that. So we're working very hard to make sure that the bank has very strong financial, metrics, resilient balance sheet, and that is hugely important. Trust in today's world remains key for banking, but we also have to be agile. And so that is where we need to, change, and that's why the culture is so important, because if we can get the behaviors, the best people are going to want to come and work for us. We can have a huge impact in terms of helping people, and we have a mission of helping people and businesses prosper, millions of people in many countries. And I think if we have the behaviors, we have the culture, we can succeed and offer both an agile and super great service as you ask for it, and as people change behaviors in terms of how they interact, but also be very, very safe for our customers and depositors.
Ana Patricia, thank you very much.
Thank you.